Hey, welcome to another episode of Trumanisms. We're going to be breaking down a couple of fights, mostly because first two guys fighting don't even have a record with Sherdog. I mean, if you have a record with Sherdog, then you haven't really fought anybody. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys who had a record with Sherdog and they never fought anybody. But anyway, we're going to be breaking down the fights that are definitely going to be on pay-per-view. If we get a chance later on during the week, we'll break down some of the undercard fights that may or may not. And for most of the ones that I've seen, those guys have actually fought somebody. First fight, Steve Cantwell versus Louise Kane. Kane, I've heard of, at least. And he's 10-1-1, so that's a pretty good record. Steve Cantwell is 7-1-0. They're both in the light heavyweight division. I'm going to go with Kane. Not because he has more wins and not simply because I've heard, well, maybe more so because I've heard of him and I've seen him fight. But we're going to go with Louise Kane over Steve Cantwell. Sheikh Kongo, sometimes stellar, sometimes not. But you got to give him one thing you can't give too many people on this planet. He beat Mirko Krokop. He's 23-4-1, gives him good amount of experience. And like I said, he beat Krokop. That is a resume unto itself. The only notable thing about Anthony Hardunk is that he has a loss to Frank Mir. He is a little bit bigger than Sheikh Kongo, which is hard to believe. They're both 6'4", and Anthony Hardunk is 245, Sheikh Kongo 240. But I know that I've seen Hardunk fight, but it wasn't that memorable. So, wow, this one's kind of a toss-up. I'm going to give Hardunk the edge just because Sheikh Kongo has not been that impressive in the UFC. On the next episode of Trumanisms, we're going to be talking about Szynski versus Brian Stann. And we will break down that fight for you next time. In the meantime, remember, I'm going to be watching UFC 97 at Sam's Boat off Breaker and Mopac in Austin, Texas. So I hope you guys show up there. It's a great venue to watch fights. In the meantime, peace. Welcome to another episode of Trumanisms. Well, we've all seen the replay of UFC 94 with St. Pierre and Penn. But first, let's talk about some of the undercard stuff. Man, Jones, he blew me away more the second time I watched it than he did the first time against Stephan Bonner. Man, that guy he's fantastic, and he's 21. Oh my gosh. He's got a very bright future. You want to talk about a prodigy. That's a prodigy. That guy's going to be fantastic. But let's get back to the Greasegate garbage, okay? And crybaby J. Penn. You know, the Greasegate stuff was supposed to have happened in between second and third round. And although they didn't show it, which I was disappointed, I was hoping they would show the Nevada State Athletic Commission coming and wiping George off. They didn't do that. But you know, all the garbage that I've seen from B.J. Penn's camp about his legs slipping down constantly on St. Pierre's back looked like footage from round one when St. Pierre didn't have any grease. And after that, St. Pierre was sweaty. Man, I just don't see the Greasegate thing. I just see crybaby J. Penn. I mean, he got his ass whooped in the fourth round. Bad. In the fourth round, he never had guard. He never had those legs like that around St. Pierre. And that's when St. Pierre did the most damage. That's when St. Pierre dominated. I'm sorry. I mean, granted, I've seen enough stuff. There might be something to Greasegate. I've heard enough other fighters say that they think George has been greased in their fights. Okay, fine. Don't think he'll ever get away with it again, so let's see what he does from here on. But BJ, quit being crybaby J Penn. I mean, I still can't get over you taking your mama to the Nevada State Athletic Commission hearing and her saying, I think George St. Pierre should be punished. Come on, really? You need your mommy there? Oh my gosh. Hey, let's get ready for the next UFC, April 18th. And let's see some good fights with a bunch of people who ain't going to cry and have their mama there later. Until the next time, peace.